Howdy everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome to the Ice House, where we try to keep things cool, calm, collected, mostly pretty chill, right? Well, if you guys have been following along at home, like I know you do, I know some of you do, because, well, you know. But anyway, the point is, my PSA yesterday, I definitely kind of went a little meta, not gonna lie, right? Talking about what's in your algorithm, right? Since, well, the algorithm itself is a kind of a meta, and it's trending, because everybody talks about it, right? You gotta chase the algorithm, you gotta be the algorithm. Everybody has their secrets to owning the algorithm and, ensuring they get all these views and stuff, right? And that's its own conversation. But what I want to focus on is something a little simpler, right? Because, while I was kind of making the video for yesterday, putting it up there, I kind of had a similar thought that one Sparky Schultz put in the comments, right? He said it's kind of like a penguin's version of you are what you eat, right? And, well, if I was what I eat, I'd probably be a lot of shrimp, ramen, pho, if I ate what I wanted to and what I liked. So, that kind of checks out. But, and shout out to not just Sparky, but for you guys who comment and hang out. I really do appreciate all you guys. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for showing up, right? So, but that really got me more to thinking, right? So, okay, well, with the whole algorithm thing, right? It's kind of funny, kind of a joke, but there's some truth behind it, right? What's in your algorithm? What are you chasing after? What are you feeding? And with the algorithm, it's a little bit different because, as someone else mentioned, David Glenn, thanks to you, also mentioned that when it comes to these websites that are free to use, there's ads and there's promoted videos and they have their own revenue stream, right? So it's true that when it comes to Twitter, X, I'm a bird, so it's hard for me not to think about tweeting, right? But when it comes to YouTube and all these other places, they're going to promote things that they have an ad revenue on, right? They're going to promote things that give back to them, right? The symbiotic relationship. And that kind of makes sense. It's sort of a logical feedback loop, if you will. So, feeding back, right? It Ouroboros, if you will. The algorithm tries to feed itself. Ooh, now that's kind of fun, right? Now I'm just picturing YouTube eating itself alive. Huh, there's a metaphor. Right, but the thing is, and I keep saying that, right? So I'll try to get to the point. The thing is, it's not just online, and it's not just chasing the algorithm or the meta or the trending, right? Because when it comes to actually what we feed ourselves, put in our mind, our own food for thought, if you will, it has an effect on us, right? The things we pursue, the things we chase, the things we spend our time and our mind, our thoughts and our energy on, they shape us. In the same way that, your recommended on YouTube might be for the last couple rabbit trails you went down in the last few days, right? Or every now and then bringing up something you haven't looked at in forever, but it'll be like, hey, remember that time you did some research on some random stuff? We didn't forget, right? And so, when it comes to how we look at the world, or our filters, rose-colored glasses, it really depends on what we've been focusing on, right? Like, say, if you've been paying attention or reading murder mysteries, right? And, whodunits, and maybe some Agatha Christie, right? So, in that Agatha, it could have been Agatha all along because, well, she wrote some really good stuff, and I've seen some of her plays. Really worthwhile checking out. Really fun stuff, right? But you kind of get into this whodunit mindset, right? Things start becoming a mystery to solve, a puzzle to, find the next clue on, right? Even if life is not that way and it's very simple, we have that creative narrative going through our head because it's what we've been, putting in our head. Or, the times that I've played, say, a video game for too long, like back in college when I played a lot of Diablo 2, and so I'd have dreams of my character running around in Diablo 2, right? Same sort of thing. You see things through the filter of what you put in, right? And sometimes it takes seeing an old friend, or going down memory lane like we did last week to kind of jog a few things back in place or out of place, right? To realize that maybe we've been filtering things the wrong way, or looking at things in the wrong light, and then realizing how to connect the dots more than just this microcosm of what we've been paying attention to the last 3 days, and realize life still makes sense and things are not as out of order as we thought they were, right? So it really depends on, the creativity of the mind. And because I enjoy chasing after things that are fun and fantastical and uplifting and, positive. And I also like some snarky, sarcastic, and dark stuff here and there too. But you gotta keep a balance, right? And I think that's why entertainment is so important. Because, the stories that we focus on, right, or if it's true crime or whodunits or Agatha Christie stuff, or it's animation or manga or anime or Western animation, it kind of sets a tone for how our brain is processing the world around us. And I do believe that's why, and I've said it a lot, but I do believe that the reason that K-dramas and anime, stuff from the East is invading the West is because there's just more creative and positive and uplifting stories, right? They play with lore, they play with historical lore and mythologies in ways that, we can immediately understand who they're referencing to and can kind of get on board with the suspension of disbelief here and there, right? And the other thing is, you can kind of laugh at the shows, but some of these popular shows, there's just this, the power of friendship and the heart of the cards. And I was catching up on some of the most recent anime season, and there's an isekai of a Red Ranger, so it's basically Super Sentai Power Ranger in an animated form that got, taken to another world and brings his otherworldly Power Ranger-esque powers with him. But it's all about the bonds of friendship and, once again, cheesy over-the-top positive stuff. And as an adult, I can see the humor and the satire in it, right? But even making fun of things that are cheesy over the top and positive, there's still something to be said about a core value and truth that's going through the whole show, right? Even if it deals with some harder topics every now and then, some of these stories, they deal with tougher issues, but they go back to a baseline of positivity. And I think that's the takeaway, right? That, being able to have a balance of what you put in, what you put out is important. Being able to enjoy things that you like and focus on those and be positive, but also being aware of what's going on in the world, right? Aware that things are not always great, and there are some harsh truths of reality that we have to accept, and I would never shy away from those. But if we focus on the negativity, and if we allow that to be, in control of our personal and mental algorithm, then we're kind of screwed, right? We're not going to see things in a good light. We're not going to be able to even maybe trust the people around us in a way that's, that we can build on something. So maybe when it feels like things are collapsing too much, maybe step away, because they maybe aren't actually collapsing. It's just there's that feeling of claustrophobia, right? Or claustrophobic spaces. And a lot of times it's more up here than it is about a physical tight space. It's just the pressure of everything building up. And even if there's a morbid curiosity that keeps us going down a rabbit hole, or the clicking on the next link in the video and kind of seeing where the thread leads. Once again, I'm mixing metaphors. But and as fun as that is, we got to go back to a baseline, right? As the kids say, you got to be based in a way. I don't think I used that correctly, but I think you guys get what I'm saying, right? There's a point of what we focus on, what we put in, is what we're gonna get out, right? Input, output, sort of the basic kind of coding language. Which, when it comes to trying to exist in a more digital interface world than real life interaction, the 1-to-1 ratio of real life to digital isn't quite there yet. So, we gotta, once again, filter all that stuff. But I just challenge you to keep putting things that are positive, uplifting, and, put things in your brain that, give you a chance to have some hope and maybe some belief in humanity, right? Belief that we're maybe not so bad, not so terrible after all. Well, that's pretty much all I gotta say, so hope you guys are still staying chill and enjoying what you're doing, and, hope you're still enjoying my content. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and if you have any other thoughts and ideas, I'd love to hear them, because, without the feedback and without you guys, what's the point of putting out videos into the ether, right? So, again, thanks for being here, and till next time, we'll see you later. Bye!